Today, in honour of Jackie Lynton's 85th birthday, which took place recently, I am presenting to you an interview that I did with the legendary figure back in 2022, when I got the opportunity to attend the Status Quo fan club convention, which took place at Butlins in Minehead, a legendary venue. I could not believe, thanks to some kind people, I got the opportunity to speak to Jackie, who has had a career spanning absolute decades, back to the late 50s and 60s as a rock and roller into the 70s with the Jackie Lynton Band and a brief period with Savoy Brown as well. He will be most familiar, I'm sure, to many Quo fans as the voice at the beginning of the live album, with the phrase which has been used by many a tribute band and many an artist, including myself. And I'm not going to imitate, I'm just going to say the words. Is there anybody out there that wants to rock? Is there anybody out there that wants to roll? And is there anybody out there who wants to boogie? And I can tell you, if there's anybody who will know how to boogie, it's Jackie Lynton. He also co-wrote at least a couple of songs with Quo, including the hit single Again and Again in 1978, and the previous year, Rockers Rolling, for the Rockin' All Over the World album, which was also released as a single in Europe. So back to this interview in 22. So I got the opportunity, and I'm there with my little microphone, and I know I've got a brief period. There are bouncers around. I think it was the end of a signing period, and they said, we've got to get out. And so I had a really short amount of time with Jackie. There was quite a lot of noise going on, which you'll hear in this audio-only recording. This was first heard in an episode which detailed that weekend, the convention special. And it might have got a little bit lost. So that is why I am presenting it to you here, so that it gets another opportunity to shine and we get to hear from the man himself. So without further ado, on YouTube and on audio, this is my interview with Jackie Lynton from 2022. It's lovely to meet you, Jackie.
Well, thank you.
What does it mean to you to come to the convention?
Well, I first saw the Status Quo. I was in America with a band called Savoy Brown, a blues band I was singing with, and they came over there in 1972 on a special deal. Because when we come back here, we supported them, you know. And as soon as I saw them, I thought, well, there's an old saying the Americans say, oh my God. They say, oh my God. I didn't. I say, that'll fucking do me. As soon as I saw them tuning up, and I thought, I'll have that. I fell in love with them straight off. Because they're real. They're not blues. They're not country. They're not folk. A little bit of everything, but they're basically rock and roll. Not 50s rock and roll, which I love, Elvis and all that, you know, Little Richard, all that lot. They're English, they're British rock and roll, and they're the only real rock and roll band in this country ever. I mean rock and roll, you know, like 70s, I suppose you could say. 70s. Fantastic. And I've got friends with all of them. Very, very friendly with all of them. They're nice. They turn out to be nice blokes. Ricky was born and bred just down the road from me in Woking. Alan and Francis in Wallington, over that way, about 10 miles. So, you know, I fell in love with them. You know, I thought, and we stayed friends. Once you're a Quo fan, so you're always a Quo fan.
Yeah.
Like an Elvis fan. Or Tottenham, dare I mention Spurs, but you know, like you stick with your team.
Yes.
And Quo are my team. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do.
And I stick with them. And that's it. They've never let me down. There's only 2 of them left, unfortunately, but life. Life's too.
You're immortalised on the live album.
Oh, Christ.
How does it feel to be part of that? I mean, you
Well,
wrote
it's
a couple of
lovely.
songs with them too.
I wrote Again and Again.
Yeah.
And Rock Us Rolling. And that keeps me in a bit of pension. That comes in a little bit. Not a lot each year, but a little bit helps out, you know. So I'm 82-year-old. So I'm really getting on. I'm really an old person. But it helps me out, you know. Once, as I say, they're my team. That's like a family to me. Now, it sounds like bullshit and mush, but it ain't. I've never met a Quo fan I didn't like. Never. They're all just all right. They mind their own business. I'm also a big Elvis fan, and it's the same. I've never met an Elvis fan I didn't like. You know what I mean, mate? Quo, they're my boys. Carry on. Go on.
Yeah.
What do you want to ask me?
Well, you've got a new book out.
Yes.
How did you come to write it?
Well, it's a 1, 2, 3. It's the 4th one. It's the last one, I think. I'm getting a bit on now. So I used to like writing poetry and different things that's happened to me in my life. Meeting Status Quo, meeting all the different people in America, singing with different bands and that. And I jotted all the little experiences down, you know, all the little anecdotes. And I make up little jolly rhymes, you know, like fucking about, you know, really. And I decided to put it in a book a few years ago, and it sold out. And I've done nothing. I only sell 200 or 300 of each one, but it's enough to cover the expenses, and you know, it's enough. So this will be the last one, though. I think I won't do any more. There's loads of pictures of me and Rick, which I had at home, you know, like when he used to come round and visit, which are rare, of course, because no one else has got them. He's in my house, so I put all them in. And my wife helps me, Vanessa. She helps me do all the getting together, you know, printing and everything, you know. And Yvonne and Paul that run the, you know, them obviously, fan club. They keep him alive, don't they? Mm-hmm. They keep Quo alive.
Definitely, yeah.
They're fantastic people. They absolutely love Quo, you know. And I don't think they ever come out with a lot of money. They cover themselves. Mm-hmm. But they're not in it to make bloody fortunes. They just want to put a show on, you know.
Yeah.
And as long as they don't lose too much. And I think that's nice.
It's lovely to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Like you say, everybody's keeping the Quo name alive.
Try to, yeah. I always will.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
I think they're fantastic. They're a rock and roll English rock and roll band, not American rock and roll. Mm-hmm. English. There isn't any others. You tell me another one, there ain't. They're either blues or heavy metal or fucking country, or they do a bit of everything.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag.
Mixed bag. Mm-hmm. But basically, once they start, they're rock and roll. British rock and roll.
Well,
nice to meet you, mate.
And you, thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Thanks so much for listening to that very short interview. I'd love to talk to him at another point in time. It would be great to hear even more perspective on his long career. Wishing Jackie and his family all the best. When was the first time that you heard Jackie Lynton? Was it on the live album as part of that iconic intro? And there's going to be 2 more intros, aren't there, on that new box set that's coming out, because he did it over 3 nights. He also did, now I think about it, the intro in 1974, I think. There's a concert film from there. Thank you so much for listening, for watching, and I'll see you again for another episode of the Quo-Cast.